And we are back with a Let's Get This Over With edition of the Doing All Right podcast here on Crown Global Media. Draft a couple days away, Bryan Broaddus.
Couple days.
You know what I'm saying? I normally have the official time, 10 days. Draft is 10 days away here, so we're winding everything down. Some people are sick of talking about draft. They talk about the we're still talking about 12, Caleb Downs,
Sure.
I just started talking about 152, 177, 180, you know what I'm saying? Those picks, I think those are going to matter as well. But some big news came out over the weekend. I was talking to the homie Will Steels about this, and I was like, man, Will Steele, we not insiders or nothing like that, you know what I'm saying? But we just, I'm not a reporter or nothing like that, but you just have information for a while, and you just sit back and you just go, man, I wonder how this is gonna play out. I wonder what the response to this is when it comes out or whatnot, right? Just to be clear here, we just want to be clear here. Somebody did pass in a car accident, so we don't want to just
We acknowledge that.
We acknowledge that. The family tragedy and what Bain is going through. We're simply talking about the reaction from it, the fallout from it. Does this affect anything draft related?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I don't think this is a James Pierce situation.
No.
You feel me?
Yeah.
This is more of a mistake than a character flaw. You feel me? This is something that happened that's unfortunate, but I don't think this is like something that the league would be looking to punish Bain for when he gets here. Mm-hmm. This isn't something that I would think scouts are calling each other like, hey, what you think? It's just something that happened that's unfortunate, terrible timing of it as well. Popping, it happened a couple years ago in 2024, so the timing of it is a thing as well.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to come in front and say this because there are people that are saying, well, Voch, with this new information that's coming out, do you think it affect Bain and his draft stock?
Yeah.
My answer is no.
No.
I don't think this affect Bain's draft stock at all. If Bain kidnapped somebody, if Bain got caught with drugs in the trunk or something like that, and he was selling them, not just smoking them, like some of these Cowboy players, but just was, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If he was gambling or something like that, I think that's a different conversation to be had about Bain. I don't think that Bain would fall from this incident.
Yeah.
We do think Bain will fall because teams suck at drafting and his arms are short.
That's it.
Please.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, you look at the situation. This is something that we kind of talked about, that there was some stuff that something lingering and something on a little bit of a dark cloud over Bain's head that he was having to deal with. I think that when you talk to people around the league, and this was probably 3 weeks ago when this was all, it's just now coming out. Here we are, like you say, 10 days from the draft. But this is something that scouts knew about for a long time. And so where scouts were kind of having some problems was with how Bain was addressing the questions when asked, when pushed about it. There were some thoughts that maybe there was a statute of limitations. Was he going to get sued? Was the family going to sue him for wrongful death? These were black clouds that were hanging over his head that he had to answer. Teams were on it. University of Miami evidently kept it very, very quiet, and until it now got out in the media. But the scouts have known about it for a while. Just talking to scouts, the thing that's going to get Bain is the short arms, and this is where I'm now having problems in my evaluations. Is when I see a player who plays at a very high level, but is able to work around any physical limitations he has and his ability to make plays like Bain has. You like 17 weeks, but then you get you get reminded of he and Hal, that's under 31 inches, and we go back to the Bill Parcells days.
Cassius Hal, you saying?
Cassius Hal, yeah. I mean, I'm just talking about guys with short arms, and they read the line, well, there's not many that have ever done this. And I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. So yeah, if in fact Bain falls, Bain won't fall because of the accident or the tragedy. Bain will fall because teams physically do not want to draft somebody with under 31-inch arms. I think that's where this is going to play out. And to be honest with you, I think the Cowboys are doing their due diligence on him. I think they're looking at him. I think if they were in a point where it was I don't think they're going to get wiped out. But if it came down to having to make a choice between him and somebody else, they might go and make a decision on somebody else here, from what I'm kind of gathering. And I'm going to keep digging on it. We'll see. We'll see if how it all plays out. But that's kind of where we're at right now when it comes to Rueben Bain.
So you're saying that there's a chance that if he's on the board at 12, the Cowboys they'll talk about it.
They'll talk about it.
There's a chance that they would.
There's a I think we're in a situation right now where, myself, Bobby Belt, and others have been kind of talking, and and I know guys are going to be guys are building their teams are building their boards right now. We'll get a better understanding of probably by the end of this week. We'll be able to kind of have an idea of what direction they might be going or leaning to. I wouldn't totally eliminate him, like we've eliminated McCoy. I know Dallas brought him in. They're doing their due diligence on him. I'm hearing teams are telling me that the knee has got some issues to it. So, with that being said, okay, well, will Dallas do what they need to do if they have to take a corner? I mean, to me, it's kind of like what we've had episodes before, Voch, where it's like, well, take Bain and take McCoy out and now go pick players. Now you need to kind of hope that the rest of the league doesn't want anything to do with Downs would be, a situation, or would you be willing to go up and assure yourself to maybe grab one of these guys that you kind of covet?
Man, Bryan, it's so let me say this, right?
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about the big six or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talking about the top tier defenders in this class because Cowboys want to draft defense because their defense was horrible, right? 2 linebackers, 2 edges, the corner and the safety, and then we got the other cornerback, Jermon McCoy. And we're at the point now, Bryan. It's the 13th, man. We got 10 days, man. And it just seems like there's more and more news about our big six. It's like a big four almost now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Jermod and his knee, Nick Harris has been talking about that for a while. Bain and his arms, not necessarily the new news that came out on him. But man, even like the whole, because you're just constantly hearing stuff, right? Like the Downs being short and Downs' arm length could come into play.
Knee at one time.
All this kind of stuff, Bryan.
Yeah.
What's 12 really looking like? And it's a topic that some people may be tired of hearing, but man, we get new information about 12 every single day, Bryan. What's it looking like right now? What's 12 looking like right now? Is it a big 3? Is this why the big trade news is going on right now?
I think so. And I've gone back and forth about this. You and I are on a lot of various platforms, and so you interact with people and you say, well, I'm thinking they might go up. I'm thinking they might need to go up. Well, wait a minute now. How much Downs is my best player? I just got done stacking 100 of them this past weekend, and I'm going to put that up on Crown Global Media, and so you'll be able to see it. And so, Downs is my number 1 player on the board. So with that being said, I'm kind of hopeful that maybe teams do continue to pass on him. Maybe it's a positional value thing to teams, and they just absolutely want nothing to do with taking a safety that high. If that's the case, I'm totally cool. I'll sit there at 12. But I'm also in that mode right now where if you start eliminating, and I've said this before, if you eliminate McCoy, you eliminate Bain, you've taken 2 primary defensive players off the board. Mm-hmm. And so now it turns into, okay, do I need to go up and assure, or do I need to sit there and hope that Downs gets to me? That's the struggle I'm dealing with right now. And how does that look? I every day I sit there and debate with myself about, should I go up? Should I try and call Cleveland? Should I try and call the Saints? Where do I need to get to in order to assure myself of getting one of these defensive players that I covet? Or do I just want to wait this thing out and hope that Downs falls to me? I don't think you're going to get a Styles fall, but I think you're going to get potentially, I could say you're going to get a Bain fall, you're going to get a McCoy fall likely, and will Downs fall because of positional value? And I think those are all 3 players that I would have been more uncomfortable taking if that was me. And that's just sitting there at 12. Mm-hmm. But maybe if Dallas is going up, it might be to go get Styles. Yeah. Is what it might be. if you want to.
I'm really curious about what other teams think about these air quote flaws from these players, these warts, and then I'm curious how many good drafting teams are there? Because I always say teams suck at drafting.
Right.
How many good drafting teams are there from pick 13 to 19? Right.
Yeah.
Cowboys got 12 and 20, and look, the Cowboys may not like Bain at 12, but they may love him at 20. They may like McCoy at 20. Hell, they may not take McCoy to 92. I don't know. But I just wonder what the rest of the league thinks, because I think about the Revel situation, right?
Right.
Barring injury, Revel had to be high on people's board just based on the film. But if the league collectively is like, all right, I'm not taking Revel to the third, I wonder if it's going to be a same situation like that with McCoy and his knee, or Bain and his arms. And I don't think Downs gets that far, or Bain, or Jamal for that matter. But I just want to know like what the other 31 teams thinking about these guys.
Yeah, that's where, the end of this week for me, it becomes really important and imperative that because you and like say, we're on a lot of platforms and people kind of rely on us to try and help them along this journey. This is where I need to kind of figure out where they are about these players. Maybe some of these other players too. We need to figure out about Downs. Mm-hmm. But you started talking about teams that, if you want to, there's some heavy hitters behind you that I think draft pretty well. I think the Rams draft well. I think Les Snead does a nice job. I think the Ravens for years have drafted well. Yeah. Tampa Bay has had their moments where they've drafted really, really well. The Jets, not so much. That's a pick from the Colts. The Colts have had, Chris Ballard has had his problems, drafting with the Colts. The Lions are, I think, a good drafting team.
Minnesota always walks away with good hauls.
Yeah, Carolina now with Dan Morgan, and
they're not gonna let these dudes get to your 20s. Baby.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think if you're talking about just waiting at 12 and waiting at 20, the landmines are in front of you. You have a horrific defense in Cincinnati who has a lot of the same needs you have. You have a team in Miami that has a first-time general manager that has a bad roster with contracts. He's going to need picks. He's going to need players. I worry about Miami trading out in front of you at 11. And then behind you, you got all these teams that draft really well. Those teams are not going to make mistakes. So you've got to kind of figure out. The Jets might make a mistake at 16. But if that's the case, but everybody else that we name between, the time you pick at 12 to the time you pick again at 20, there are teams in between you that are probably going to take some pretty good players off this board, and you have to be ready for that.
Bryan, a couple people's like, man, this is a really good tight end class, man. Mm-hmm. It was like, man, boy, these tight ends go way down into day 3, and I love them. So I corresponded with my board, Bryan, and it just happens that we ain't watch a whole bunch of tight ends in general. So I decided to.
You loaded us up.
We had like 6, 7 tight ends previously watched, Bryan. So
yeah, we had a few.
I feel like we at least have to do a little bit of diligence on these boards here. So we watched some tight ends. I decided to give us the tight end day on Monday so we can get 5 of these guys. Now we got 13 tight ends watched. We ain't watching no more. Sorry.
No more
if we don't get you done by Monday of next week, it ain't happening. Appreciate you, but we did our best. Me and you kind of back and forth a little bit pre-show. We don't do this a whole bunch, but I had a player that I had questions about.
Yeah.
I saw some people in the chat that was telling me, Voch, you have to watch Oscar Delp from Georgia. Mm-hmm. You absolutely have to watch Oscar Delp from Georgia. And at this time of the year, I'm grouchy. I'm like, I ain't got to watch nobody. Y'all, you know what I mean? Grumpy ass Voch. Plus, we go down our PFF board. Yeah. Delp is outside of that 200. So normally, I wouldn't even have watched Delp. I'd have just went on by my business.
Right.
But sometimes you got to go to Twitter and see what Twitter's saying about Delp.
Right.
Twitter like Delp. Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about Delp. Mind you, how my notes are laid out, it's in real time. They're bullet points. It ain't a summary, okay? So this is literally what I thought in real time.
Oh, crap. He made another play.
I was
Get
like,
to the sideline.
I got
Why do you look so stiff?
Got you. Yeah, in order, right? All right. bunch of short stuff.
Yeah.
He's running to the flats here.
Yeah.
Okay, he ran in motion, then to the flats. All right, cool. Seems to have some quickness off the line of scrimmage. You know, Georgia just won't use him in that way. You kind of got to jump around the film because he ain't got a ton of catches, but that's a theme that we ran into with most of these tight ends. They got 20 catches all year, so you got to go find some of this work. I thought he showed a bunch of effort as a blocker, but for the most part, I thought he was a dude that kind of caught the ball in the flats and, kind of got tackled a little bit, but a ton of toughness when blocking people, but he needed some work, just in my personal opinion, with some of the technical stuff and all this. I thought he lost the second phase of the block sometimes, right? Like he'll approach early, super aggressive, kind of get shook up a little bit from the lack of blocking skill. And I was like, all right, cool, bet. Bryan, something told me, just based on what I know about Georgia and Georgia film, I really liked Carson Beck last year.
Right.
So at this point in my notes,
back.
I was like, "Hey man, hold on, let me watch last year's film a little bit." All right, so I'm watching last year's film. Oh shit, he can run.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing I noticed. You know what I'm saying? And look, to be fair, Delp had 20 catches last year.
Yeah.
They ain't throw it to him a whole bunch. Maybe college is just going away from the tight end in general.
They went from having one of the best tight ends in the country now. He's now with the Raiders. They throw him a million balls.
And they just stopped throwing it to the tight end once Bowers left. But oh shit, he can run. Got contact balance, got a little bit of yak ability here. Boy, he's a boy. These man coverage matchups with these linebackers show leaving him wide open. Still catching some passes in the flats or whatever. Still's motion, short, easy pass guy. But I thought he was a nightmare in the red zone, Bryan. Like when you got down inside the 20 there, and they'll match him up with a linebacker or something. Like, he's just too fast for those guys. Like he's outrunning those dudes, Bryan. I didn't get a chance to look up how much he weighed, because I was sick
245.
245? I was sick of looking up weights because of quarterback week and all that. I was tired of doing all the research. I just wanted to watch the film and just damn move on. But it seemed like he had some decent size on him.
Yeah.
And even last
6'5".
year, and even last year he was still decent as a blocker. Still need a little bit of work, weight room, NFL peanut butter. He'll be fine. But I was really blown away at how much he can run, and he was a little more crafty as a route dude. I wouldn't call him like a good route runner, but if you are much more athletic than the target covering you, which is a linebacker most of the time, then you look like a better route runner than what you probably are. You put a safety or a corner on him, you'll probably deal with that a little bit better. But man, Bryan, I put a 4 on him, man, because that's where my other fast tight ends is at. You know what I mean? That's where Trigg and them at. You know what I mean? That's where all these other cats. So I ended up liking Delp a lot more, but I needed to go to his last year's film for further context. What you think about it?
Yeah, this is Georgia, in my eyes, has become this team where they've got really good players.
Yeah.
And the scheme kind of F's them up. Look at the defense.
Sure.
We're watching these edges. We're watching tackles. They're 2-gap, and they're this.
Christian Miller, 306 pounds, and 8-gap.
And then all of a sudden, you're like watching them in the NFL, and they're all making plays. And you're like going, man, Georgia's one of the best teams in the country at totally taking great players and kind of like dampering down their ability to make plays. And but listen, I got this kid in the third. And the reason I put him in the third is I couldn't put him behind Jolly, who I have in the third from North Carolina State. Yeah. But this guy is a fluid moving athlete. And he's got shorter and quickness. He's got speed. Voch told you he's got speed to run past linebackers. He does it. He's got soft hands. He when he's on the move, that's something we've kind of always seen of these Georgia tight ends, their ability to catch on the move and then get up the field. This guy he's got some things about him when it comes to the traits that he possesses. At 6'5", 245, I'd love for him to come off the ball and hammer somebody, but he really, really doesn't do that. But he's got the athletic ability to stay engaged with guys. It goes a little further, then maybe he starts to lose it a little bit there. Yeah. But man, because you watch him, he's got some kind of these little choppy steps. Yep. And then all of a sudden, then his hands, the choppy steps, and they kind of gets it all to come together, and he gets in. I was watching the Alabama game. Might have been the Texas game. But one of the games where he they run a misdirection where he's the lead blocker. Yeah. Well, he's out in front of he's out in front, so he chips a guy, and then he keeps running to get another block. So this guy doesn't lumber at all. I mean, this is a real athlete. And I could see him getting stronger and becoming even a better blocker. But like I said, they're going to work with him, those choppy steps, the hands, all that stuff. They're going to get him to come off the football. But the speed and the ability to catch the football, to me, like I said, I couldn't put him in my stack. I could not put him. I've got, in that third round, Stowers from Vanderbilt, Claire from Ohio State, Delp, and Jolly. Those are my third round guys right there.
Gotcha. I don't hate that at all, Brian. Pretty solid group right there.
Yeah.
You'll probably move guys further up your board the more downfield they run. You know what I'm saying? Or like the more athleticism they have. Like the blocking tight ends, we're gonna talk about a couple of them today.
Yeah.
Or like Roush, you know what I'm saying? Like those guys will probably be down your board because they have one thing that they do.
That's right.
But they may not be full-time guys. Brian, tell us about Dallen Bentley from Utah. He's another guy that kind of runs around a little bit.
Yeah, he is. He's an interesting guy. This guy went to school at Snow Junior College. And back in the day when I was scouting, like these kids, the transfer portal not around. So like you get kids go from junior college and then get into the NFL. Snow Junior College was kind of a pipeline for college players to kind of get their grades and then to get into school. This guy has not had a very productive career until this last year. He had 48 catches this year. So there's some, at 6'4", 253 pounds, there's some inline stuff to his game. And, the meat, when you watch him, though, I wish, again, here's another one. I wish he came off the ball a little bit more and then got into his blocks and kind of used his size. He kind of would get into people and then just kind of try and hold on to him, not really drive him or anything, just kind of almost dance with him, stay with him that way. But if he were to come off the ball and use his size a little bit more, I think he has a shot because I do feel like you got some athletic ability with this guy. I mean, he just does not play with power in that lower half of his body. And then when you watch him try and drive block people. So, and also too, I put in my notes there, a lack of a little bit of a tenacity. Just don't try and just get in the way and hold. Just come off the football and then drive that guy, pin him inside, knock him back, do what you have to do to get him off the line of scrimmage. So I like this guy as far as his size. I think the route running needs a lot of work there. He needs to look a little bit more on the contested catches. Doesn't have a whole lot of opportunity, but you could see that. You could see that he's going to need some work. I saw him on a couple of times adjust to some high throws, so that was a positive to me. I have him in the fifth round. I have him at the bottom of the fifth round. We're going to talk about a couple of other guys that I have him below, but right now he is in the fifth round for me. Like the size, wish he was a little bit more tenacious with the blocks. The catching of the ball and stuff like that I think is good enough, but for that size, he needs to be better in the physical side of things.
I saw him working a little more vertical, Brian, which is always cool. Track the ball well, good hands and catch radius. He had a little bit of size on him. He did catch his fair share of shorter routes as well.
Right.
Hey man, whatever. He's a tight end. That's gonna happen. I thought he was decent blocking skill players. Thought if he was blocking corners or something, he was chasing them dudes around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he'll kind of brother-in-law with them edges a little bit. You know what I mean? Kind of throw a little chicken wing out there. Brother-in-law and chicken wing are real life football terms. I ain't just making it up on the fly. Some coach you probably heard a coach say chicken wing brother-in-law before.
Chicken wing is or like it's just like you're using a flipper.
Yeah, flippers.
Flipper's another thing, but chicken wing, you just kind of chicken wing them is what you do.
Dallen Bentley chicken winging a lot of edges out there, you know what I'm saying? But he'll chase down them corners and safeties when he's lead blocking to the outside. And I saw some plays too. They line him up at running back and kind of motion him around a little bit and lead. And he's fine at doing those things. He has enough athleticism to line up at wing if you want him to and run out there and do that. But he ain't driving people off the ball. That's not his game. Right? You know who drive people off the ball? Though?
Who's that?
I'm phony, man. Brian, I'm phony, dog. Take Dallen off the screen. We don't need to talk about Dallen no more. Let's talk about a real tight end for real. I'm phony, Brian. I know I just said to you that I rank guys a little higher when they're more athletic. They catch the ball a little bit, and the blocking dudes got to go to the back of the line.
Right.
I know I just said that. Brian. Nate Boerkircher. Nate Boerkircher from Texas A&M. Brian. I don't draft off hope.
Yep.
Normally.
Yep.
I don't draft off intangibles I hate intangibles. Yeah, I hate that. Oh, the intangibles. Look at the moxie intangibles. I hate when people say that. You know what I mean? I look at film traits.
Yeah.
Bro, that dude tough, man.
He is tough.
Brian, off toughness alone, he'll sell it off toughness alone, Brian.
Yeah.
As a blocker, right? He's trying to finish people every time.
He is. Absolutely.
Y'all, he trying to finish people every time he drive. And I ain't just talking about like the linebackers or the corners. Like he'll line up with your edge and the edge will bump out to a 6. He out there base blocking with him. He's shooting the shot and he driving them, Brian. He don't drive everybody. You know, he'll wrestle with whoever in there need to be wrestled. But if you are one of them smaller edges, if you like 220 or something, he ran a couple of them edges that we talked about earlier. They may not be the biggest guys in the world. He moving them cats.
Yeah.
Or he comboing with his tackle or something like that. I thought he was really aggressive getting to the second level. He would miss sometimes because of the angle. Because he try to kill people, right?
He does.
That's what coach is for, right? Set that angle up better. But when he's latching on 2 linebackers, please get him out of here. But Brian, this will kind of move him up the board a little bit. This is where I'm most phony, because I'm floor guy.
Yeah.
I'm not ceiling guy at all.
Right.
I think you can develop this dude into a hell of a receiving tight end.
I like what you're trying to do here.
Now let's talk. Luke Schoonmaker in college was a phenomenal blocker that you would have to develop into a pass catcher.
That's worked out well for you.
The problem is taking him in the second round, right?
That's the problem.
If you'd have took Luke in the 5th, we'll be feeling good about Luke.
Feel great.
We'll be feeling good about Luke, right? I think Boerkircher is a better blocker than Luke. I don't think he's as athletic. But what I love about Boerkircher, I think his hands are better. I've seen Boerkircher take passes over the middle, get thumped and catch them.
He is.
He'll come out and catch it with his hands, Brian. He'll catch the ball away from it. He'll catch the ball away from his body. But Brian, he trying to run everybody over.
He does that.
Brian, he trying to run everybody over. He was so fun. I went to watch his last year film. The last year film better.
Yeah.
Last year film fun too. You know what I'm saying? He ain't catch a bunch of passes. He's another one of them 20 catch club guys, right? But Brian, in my mind, I'm like, man, I ain't even got to teach you a bunch of routes. Just teach him a few. And just let him kind of teach him how to navigate zones a little bit. Throw the ball to him. He going to catch him. He going to run everybody over, Brian. Then line him up in line and let him drive people off the line of scrimmage. I'm phony, Brian, but I got inspired. Yeah. That same toughness I saw Cole Payton, the quarterback from North Carolina State, North Dakota State.
Yeah.
The same toughness I saw with Cole Payton, the quarterback, and I was like, hey, I'm drafting you off toughness alone. Yeah. Draft Boerkircher as well.
Yeah.
Off toughness alone. And watch y'all start to run people over, Brian. Please, what you think about Nate Boerkircher from Texas A&M?
Don't tell me you put him in the 5th round, though, right?
I got him in the 4th.
Okay, just want to make sure you.
I got him in the 4th.
Didn't want to make sure that.
Because I'm phony. Because look, this is my. Look, watch it.
So you're saying you probably should put him in the 3rd?
No, I'm not saying that. Because I want to keep the high. I can't put him over Jolly because Jolly's a much better down the field guy.
Jolly can block as well too.
Jolly can block. He ain't Birch, but he can block. Yeah. Trigg and Delp, those guys are different.
Yeah.
So Boerkircher is my first guy under them, right? I'm not putting him down in the 5s because, like, think about Klein when we talk about him, right? Think about Roush. Those are guys that block all day, every day.
I put him behind Roush.
You put Boerkircher behind Roush?
Yeah.
Well, you just wrong. You had a bad day last day, but it's all good.
No,
please,
man.
Please.
I put him behind Roush.
Tell us about him.
Boerkircher, though, I'll tell you this, though, about this kid transferred from Nebraska. His brothers played there. His brother's an offensive lineman in Nebraska as well. But I think you're right about his willingness as a blocker to do things. And I think he's got a taste for this. I think he wants to be a good blocker. You can line him up in line. You can line him up at the wing. You know, when he hits targets in space, he's going to finish his block. You're absolutely right about that. What's interesting about him, and he had, if you go and watch the Notre Dame game, he had the game-winning catch against Notre Dame. I mean, they're Texas A&M's down to the last play, and Boerkircher gets, he gets a little bit of a little sail route up the field, and he's able to adjust, high point the football and catch it. This guy is a punishing runner. You're absolutely right. You can watch the South Carolina game. He just runs like they try and come up and tackle him in space. He's just running over defenders. Florida game, same way. Throw him the ball. He's just running over people. This is a guy that when he blocks, he's a first strike guy inside hands. He gets in the framework of defenders' bodies. He could reach. He could scoop linebackers that play side. He finishes blocks. He runs after catch. Everything about him is like the same energy when you watch him play. Everything about him is, whether it's run blocking or whether it's catching the football or it's run after catch. It's the same thing with him. I put him in the 4th round as well. If you use the word coward, I might be a little bit of a coward. I like Roush a little bit better for what I'm trying to do. Because I kind of like, I think Roush is really more plug and play right now.
Roush is a much better. Could you kind of give me a rundown on Roush?
6'6", 267, and this guy is a plug and play inline tight. I mean, he makes cutoff blocks too. He's a combo blocker. I'm talking about Sam Roush from Stanford here, and he holds his own in pass protection as receiver. He's not stiff. He might not be as elusive as Boerkircher is, but man, I mean, his game is built on that kind of that blocking, that catching. Sure. You can move him around. I mean, he just doesn't look out of place when it comes to moving him around. And you'll find a guy or two like Boerkircher. He's going to make plays. He's going to find ways to finish. I don't know how great of a route runner he can be, and maybe Boerkircher will be better at this. Sure. But he is sneaky when it comes to the delays and the underneath concepts and stuff like that. And I think at 6'6", 267, he could be a little bit more of a downfield threat. For Stanford was a poor football team the last couple of years. But I like this guy just because I think to me that the inline blocking, the way of lining him up, very, very similar to Boerkircher. But like I say, I liked him a little bit better because I feel like the blocking was a little bit better overall.
I can understand that. I think Roush performs more blocks.
He does.
He's
like a traditional inline Y. That's next to the tackle in that Y position, the tight end that plays right there on the line of scrimmage, hand on the ground.
Yeah. But I do think that Boerkircher can probably block more people, if that makes sense.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Just in my opinion.
No, that's fair.
Bryan, real fast, before we move on to the next tight end, I got 54th round grades. What would you do in that situation? Do you move guys down to the 5th? you leave them?
You know what? I think what's going to happen to you, and I learned this stacking my 100, and I know you and I talked about stacking the second 100. I know myself. You get to a point in time when you go back, and this is where you go back and read your reports.
Sure.
When you're trying to compare how did I write a guy? How did I write a guy on January 16th as opposed to December 16th? Mm-hmm. How did I write a guy on March 16th as compared to? And so you kind of get an idea of where you have these guys, and it's a little bit harder, I think, for that second when you really try and get down now into that 4th round. There might be some 4th round guys on your board that need to be in the 5th round, and some of those 5th round guys that need to be in others. And I've read some guys in the 5th round, and it's like, that's an other. That's clearly an other now. And when you start to compare, when you say, okay, this is player 86, this is player 87, player 88, and they're really close in your mind, but then you read them, you read your notes, and you read that, oh shit, the guy's fast. Mm-hmm. Then it's like, wait a minute, this is a trait that
is exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Tell us about Joe Royer from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
He's another receiver kind of guy.
He's a receiver. He's 6'5", he's 247. He's a transfer from Ohio State, and he had like really no career at Ohio State. And he just no real production if you go back and even look at his numbers. You heard me talk about this the other day in scouting terms. When a guy is high cut, means short body, long legs. Yeah. This guy's the opposite. This guy is low cut. He is long body, short legs at 6'5", 247. But he does have some foot quickness. I think he's one of these guys that's kind of this basic route runner. We've seen a lot of that. This kind of allows him to be able to kind of flow into where he needs to be and stuff like that. There's plays where all of a sudden there's play action, he's delayed, and now he's up the field. There's a lot of his production comes from busted coverages and stuff like that. All of a sudden you see him running wide open. I kind of like the guy. I liked him as this ability to catch the football. I felt like he could go up for it. There were a couple of times where he was in the flat and the ball was low, and he was able to have to adjust to that. He's competitive running after the catch. A lot of his stuff is basically fit the way he blocks, the way he comes off the ball. He gets in and he just tries to fit, and then he tries to use his athletic ability to kind of shield you or keep you from the play. But he's one of these guys that he's not a huge threat running down the field. I don't think this guy has got great speed. And when you watch him catch the ball and then he breaks into the open, you see people run him down. So I have him in the 5th round. I have him underneath. I have him under. He's my top guy because we're going to talk about. We got Royer. We're going to talk about Klein next from Michigan, and then Bentley, who we just talked about from Utah. That would be my 5th round guys.
The thing about Royer, I kind of watch him throughout the season a little bit because he only got a handful of catches too.
Yeah. Relative
to what catches are. And I thought very early in the season he was run to the flats guy.
Right.
And I thought that's who he was. Mm-hmm. I was like, damn, dog, not another run to the flats guy. But he did make some big plays eventually.
Yeah.
I was curious as how those big plays came about, and I try to be careful with big plays.
Oh no, I think a lot of it gets schemed.
That's what he's
very schemy guy.
That's my big gripe about Skylar Bell from UConn.
Yeah,
the wide receiver. Yeah. He got a ton of catches.
Yeah,
but the scheme makes it that way. It ain't like he's getting away from people.
Right.
Royer's not getting away from people, but he runs a bunch of them. All right, y'all, I'm over here, and then I'm here wide the hell open.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of them catches.
Yeah.
One play, he got, just like you said.
They lose him. I mean, it's amazing how
he gets lost. The one play, humongous play, I saw it on his game log. He had a 67-something yard catch. I said, well, let me see what this is.
Got fetched.
So he caught the damn ball, got away from the guy. Yeah. To be fair, he did carry the defender 20 yards.
Yeah.
But it was hanging on for dear life. We watched film here, y'all. He hang on for dear life, but he did catch him.
Yeah.
He did eventually catch him, and he did pull him down prior to getting to the end zone, Bryan. But I'm with you, man. I'm just curious as how he gets open, but there's some yakability in my mind. I think he runs solid routes. He tracks the ball really well. Shouts out to him for doing that. Not the best blocker again.
No,
another guy is not the best blocker.
Like I say, the fit, it's a lot of these times you get guys that get into, and it's kind of like Bentley from Utah. Mm-hmm. He get in, and they're big, and they can kind of just stay with, and then they hope that the ball goes past them, and then they can let go of the block. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I'm at with Royer as well.
Yeah, basically, he's a bigger receiver to me.
Yeah,
than he is tight end.
Weird, like you say, the weird body type with the short legged and then long body. Is that right? Did I say that right? Did I
high cut? He's low
cut.
So he low cut is
he's low cut. He's long body, short legs. Yeah, I knew I had him right somewhere. Yeah.
But he's a cool player though, Bryan. Yeah. I got him in the 5s.
Okay.
And then we have our guy Marlin Klein.
Yeah.
He's the last on my list out of all these guys.
Right.
I don't want to keep talking about Schoonmaker, and I'm not trying to make a Michigan comparison or whatever, but I'm just constantly thinking about these guys that are really good blockers that'll have to grow into being wide receiver guys, or they'll have to grow into catching the ball down the field a little bit more. But I think it's about where you draft these guys. You know what I'm saying? So Klein, we talking about him going in the 5th round or later. I think that'll be perfect for him. I think he's a really tenacious blocker though. The technique ain't all there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you see the want to and the ass whooping him. So cool, shouts out to him. I don't think he does a bunch of different types of blocks well like some of these other guys. I don't think he's a great move blocker, like lead blocker and all that kind of stuff. But he does kind of come off the ball and he can pin guys. You know what I mean? So shouts out to him for that. He's comfortable blocking ends, but I don't think he's great at it. You know what I'm saying? But he's not dying deaths with those guys. He runs a few routes downfield kind of later in the season. I saw him get downfield a little bit more. Wasn't nothing super impressive, but he did have a little bit of yak to him. I made a little joke. On 5 of his 20-something catches, you did kind of see some ability to kind of catch the ball and get a little bit further downfield. Could just be size and cornerbacks trying to tackle him or whatever, but I didn't walk away like super impressed with Klein at all or like blown away from him. He seemed to be comfortable catching the football, but other times he seemed like he fought it a little bit, you know what I mean? So I kind of got him in the 5s. I got him, he's like my last tight end right now.
He's real close to being an other for me.
He probably is an other in real life.
And listen, you're talking to a guy or listening to a guy right now who was part of the original NFL Europe. And I say that because in 1990, when NFL Europe started, it was the World League of American Football, one of my first gigs, professional gigs that I had, and got me into scouting, then got me to the Packers. This young man's from Germany. Yeah. He was born in Germany. Okay. So he hasn't played much football. So really since his high school days, that's kind of where he got started. So you're not going to get what's unusual about this guy is that he's got really, really, really good size. He's 6'6", he's 248. They line him up in line Y. They line him up as a wing. There, you do see some speed with him, actually. You have to kind of respect him a little bit, the defense with some of the vertical stuff. But he's one of these guys that just hasn't played a lot of football, and you could see that in the way he blocks. And he tries to catch the ball, in his hands. He's trying to do the right thing. I think he's competitive in all those things. The thing about him is, though, that the blocking technique is not great. So, that's, you like to say this. That's what are coaches for. I could see somebody taking this guy. I could see somebody taking this guy 5th, 6th round and then trying to work with him. Yeah. And because the willingness to be the blocker, the athletic ability, I think, is there. He's just not really good at it. And I think that he's going to need to have teach him some nuance about some of the route running. We've seen this before, with the Michigan tight end, even though who was our Michigan tight end? Not Schoonmaker, with the last year with the Bears. That was drafted. There was Loveland and Warren. That's what I'm saying. You're watching these Michigan and these Michigan tight ends, and sometimes they run really good routes. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they catch the ball. Sometimes they don't. But this kid, to me, when you look at him, and I'm not going to say his best football is ahead of him, but at 6'6", 248, this could be a very traitsy type of a pick for somebody. Yeah. Because of his size, because of his athletic ability, and because maybe you could work with him to get him better. I think there's a willingness to get better in all areas. I just don't think he's a really good blocker right now, and I don't think he understands how to block well, and I think that's why I put him in the 5th.
I got him in the extras, Bryan. He was a 5 for me. Yeah. You ain't wrong. He if you look at the other tight ends, they all have something that they're really, really good at. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do anything really good like them. He's trying to do a bunch of stuff, and he could develop and work on. That's where extras go. Yeah,
I kind of felt like that maybe that Bentley was, like I said, I had Klein over Bentley because in my mind I'm thinking, well, here's a guy that doesn't know anything yet. And maybe, and I know he went to Michigan. Everybody's out there, damn, Broaddus, he went to Michigan. He played football at Michigan for 4 years. I mean, he's got to, sometimes they don't develop these kids. And maybe with his size, his athletic ability, his desire to get better, maybe somebody can find something in him with this player.
Yeah. I don't know what the content schedule going to look like this week. Got a draft next week. You know what I mean? Like, it's right around the corner next Thursday. We do have players on Wednesday and Friday. If any news pops up, we'll cross that bridge whenever we get there. More than likely, me and Bryan are going to ask questions back and forth. We might do a Q&A Thursday or something. If nothing pops up, might put the bat signal out and do some Q&A and let y'all kind of chat about that a little bit. But the content is fluid.
Yeah.
Content's fluid till then. But appreciate y'all for tapping in and listening to us talk about tight ends, though. NFL is a strange lady.
Yep.
We're running those till next Thursday?
Yep, till when the draft's over, they're done. So the T-shirts are at crownglobalmedia.com. The NFL is a strange lady. You get hoodies there as well. In the strange lady, a couple different colors you can do. The T-shirts. Appreciate everybody out there who's been tweeting at me at Crown Global Media, saying, "Hey, I got my shirt, got my book, got my stack book, got a hat, whatever." We really do appreciate you guys supporting us that way.
For sure. Everything is going to be on the website. Everything that you're looking for. All the other merch. If you just want a quarter zip or a cup with whatever logo you want on there, go to crownglobalmedia.com and go check out our merch. We appreciate y'all for tapping in with us in that way. The link to all the other work is up there, the clips page and all that kind of stuff, the audio. So run over there and have a good time. Just run around free, willy-nilly. Me and Bryan gonna ask questions tomorrow, assuming that, no big news drops or anything like that. We'll talk about it immediately. It's funny. The Colts, they let their corner go or whatever, right? So everybody asks, "Yo, Voch, what you think about the corner that the coach just let go?" I ain't got time. The draft Thursday, next Thursday. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to get these last few guys in.
I'll say this, though. I did watch the player myself.
Okay.
I did watch, and I will say that to me, what's going to happen, you get a player that's a nickel player.
Yeah.
I can't remember names off the top.
Kenny Moore?
Moore, right. Kenny Moore, right. Kenny Moore. I just can't. There's so many names in my head.
If he was a Cowboy, you would know his ass. Yeah, he's just out there.
But real quick,
sure,
little
please.
report.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he primarily plays in the nickel. I really worried about the lack of speed. I worried about the burst. I think things in front of him, I think were fine. Yeah. And you watch him play in zone, and there's some zone drops and stuff. But when people got behind Moore, you saw a lack of catch-up speed. So now we're talking about a bunch of nickels. You and I, we've gone through many of them. This guy's a $13 million player. I just don't see why. I don't see why. Why would Dallas do this? Why would Dallas trade for a guy that I think doesn't have the quickness, doesn't have the burst, doesn't have the speed, when they could sit there and draft somebody for the pick that they're liable to give up to get this guy? Me personally, I just draft. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about trading for more like you did Pickens after the draft.
Yeah, fair enough, Bryan. Fair enough.
Yeah. I did it because I had to for radio.
Write this down, Bryan. Write this down.
I got a pen, I got paper. What do you need me to write down?
Tomorrow, I want us to make the case.
Okay. Case.
People always hear us make the case of why we should trade up.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Trade back.
Just why should we keep the picks? Because you just told me, well, we shouldn't go sign Kenny Moore because we can go draft one of these kids in the third or fourth or something. What if we gave that damn pick away to move up and go get Bailey or something?
Yeah.
I can make an argument that we might need these picks a little bit.
Okay, I know you're trying to get us off the air here.
Oh, that was what y'all gotta go, please.
But we talk about this.
Yeah.
The confidence level of getting a bunch of picks. Usually people say, "Oh, that's fair. Dart throws."
Yeah.
Give me as many dart throws as I could take. Me personally, and this is going to sound very cavalier. You give me picks, I think I could have a good draft.
Sure.
I don't know about this team that we cover on an extensive basis. I want to believe. I think they're really good. I think they're really good picking inside the top 10. I think they are. I think they're really good at doing that. I have my questions now about second-round picks, third-round picks, fourth-round picks. I have my questions. You're going to say, "Oh, give me picks, John Eric Sullivan at Miami Dolphins."
Sure.
But you're going to tell me, like, if you move back and get a bunch of picks, that things are going to be great? I can't say that with any certainty. Not the last couple of years I can't.
Here's why I can say that with certainty.
You could say it because you feel confident you could draft.
I'm talking about with them.
Okay.
This is why I say this with certainty. you're going to have to tune in to Tuesday's edition of the Doing All Right podcast. We're going to talk about it there, all right? We love y'all to pieces, man. I'm going to eat this argument alive tomorrow because I got a good-ass point, all right? Crown.